Hello and welcome to this week's NFL Pick Show with Nathaniel Arfin. We just finished recording a politics podcast, and then your kid decided to be the worst. So,
He is,
my patience is fully gone. Nathaniel, how are you?
my son is, he likes to hold things up. Yeah.
I have an annoying number of my friends have had kids recently. Okay, two, you and my very good buddy. Both of you had kids in Q4 last year. And so I am getting the just basically my entire social life when it comes to both of you just turns into me waiting for 15 minutes at a time for children being the worst.
They like to do that.
Your Eagles are 4-point favorites tonight as we're recording this against the Commandos. Why are you 4-point favorites?
I think it's an interesting question. Of course, the defense from the Eagles has looked a lot better, especially against the Cowboys last week, where was it 4 or 5 turnovers. But Quinion Mitchell,
I slept through the second half of the 4 p.m. games last week because yeah, it was the moment when the Cardinals took, it was either 28-6 lead or whatever. Basically, once I knew I was going to win that bet, which is my only action on the 4 o'clock slate, I stopped caring.
I don't blame you, but the Eagles, it was pretty clear pretty early. They were the better team, and really not surprised by that. But
you mean I bailed out of my Dallas pick by game time.
Cooper Rush was obviously going to be a liability for the Cowboys. All that said, yes, the defense looks better. Yes, they're kind of getting to where I expected them to be, or at least where I would hope to them to have been starting the season. But 4 points against this Commanders team. It's in division. This is a hard sell for me. I like the Eagles on the money line, but at -205, it's like, why? But I'm staying away from 4 points. It's just too heavy.
The case for Philadelphia is that you are 6th in defensive EPA and you are 1st in defensive success, right?
Yeah, it's good defense.
Season, Washington is 24th in EPA and 27th in success, right? So the worst unit in this game by far is the Washington defense. I think I've now talked myself into Philadelphia. Not picking them for the contest, but I think I've now talked myself into the Eagles money line and some NBA game I like tonight.
Yeah, it's really the points for me. I do think the Eagles should win this game. They are the better team, and the defense is going to show up. It really
makes the case that the points are kind of irrelevant here, because if your defense does what it's supposed to, you should win by 14. And if not, then you're probably going to just lose outright.
You can play an interesting hedge that way.
Yeah, it's called Eagles. Yeah, it's called Eagles -11.5. All spread. Yeah, no shit. Yeah, no, I'm definitely going to be doing that. Green Bay -5.5. The Packers own the Bears. Jordan Love has a week off to get right after the Detroit game. Matt LaFleur off a bye. He's been pretty damn good in bye situations so far in his Packers career. But more importantly, the Bears are busted. The Hail Mary broke that team.
Yeah.
Like a cheap bar dispenser condom. Okay. The defense looks terrible. They just got whipped by Drake May. They lost to the Cardinals 2 weeks ago badly. The Bears suck. And the stadium is going to be half Packers fans anyways.
It's surprising because I was really high on them early in the year, but 3 straight losses after they held on fairly well against the Commanders. Yeah, I mean, the bad loss to the Cardinals and how do you lose to Drake May? Green Bay is a much better team, and I mean, no one is taking the Bears here. Yeah, Jordan Love fully healthy against Caleb Williams. Oh no, not Caleb Williams. Is Caleb Williams going to start? Do we know? Do we have that confirmed?
I'm
I
assuming
mean,
so.
even if even if he does, it's only 5.5 points. They're not going to cover this spread. Yeah, I'm with you. Let's take the Packers.
It just makes look, man. I don't like. I think the Packers are like definitively an outer ring contender in the NFC, right? Um, like I did picks for last week, and we were talking about the Steelers because the host over there is a Steelers fan, right? And like I kind of think Green Bay and Pittsburgh are like similar fifth best team, fourth best team maybe in their conference on their day,
Which
right?
really just tells you what you need to know about the AFC vis-a-vis the NFC. But
Well, yeah, I mean, I guess we'll get it. I mean, I know who I'm picking in one of the games, so we can have a fight about the top tier of the AFC in a minute. But like, I think the Packers are good, sort of good, bordering on great. They did out like gain the Lions 2 weeks ago. But the Lions ran, well. Um, I I try not to be a homer about my team. I try and be realistic about what they are. I'm still like, there's still a part of me that's like, is Jordan Love really the guy? But at the end of the day, the Bears are fucking terrible. Like that
yeah,
O-line is so bad.
they're just not a good team. They haven't done anything to support Caleb Williams' development. I mean, then they're
Oh,
making the
you mean
same
trading
mistakes
for
again.
you mean trading for old man Keenan Williams, not Keenan Allen was not a solution to problems.
It's depressing to see these teams do the same thing, make the same mistakes over and over again. They've abandoned him, and this team is not any good.
It's especially hilarious because like Darnell Mooney is like actively a better receiver in Atlanta than Keenan Allen is, but had to have those fucking dumbass Bears fans, victory lap the Keenan Allen trade because he was a big name. Who are you taking for your second pick?
For my second pick, I'm gonna take one of the 425 games. I am going to pick the Kansas City Chiefs
Oh,
plus
fuck,
2 points going
fuck you for
into
2 reasons.
Buffalo.
You stole the game I was about to do, and 2, you're on the wrong side of it. You fucking moron.
I mean the
This
Bills
Chiefs
have
team
been.
is fraudulent.
I'm not disagreeing with that, but the Bills are not the ones to take them down. The Chiefs, they are still the only undefeated team in the NFL, and they're going into the Bills. They have is Keon Coleman playing? They have hurt wide receivers. I don't know that Amari Cooper is playing. It's not a great scene for them on their offense, and the Chiefs have to show me they can lose before I'm going to pick against them.
So your argument is that the Bills have some issues offensively. Who is the Chiefs? So the Chiefs are running at the corpse of DeAndre Hopkins.
That's right.
Corpse of Juju Smith-Schuster.
Oh, I didn't know he was there.
Rookie Xavier Worthy, and the very obviously check the fuck out about a season ago, Travis Kelce.
Well,
Which,
Travis Kelce has a podcast to focus on, so let's not give him
well,
too
and
much.
a superstar girlfriend to fuck. Which,
Yeah,
in fairness, if I were him, I would also be checked the fuck out of my CTE giving career. So,
I,
um,
I hope he's done at the end of this season. Like, get off the roster, dude.
yeah, at this point, it's ludicrous. So, would you like the case for the Bills? Because you're completely fucking wrong. Okay,
All right.
the Bills' defense is better than the Chiefs' defense by both EPA and success rate.
Wow.
The Bills' offense, not hugely. It's like 1 point on EPA, and it's like 4 points on 4 places on success rate. The Bills' offense, third by EPA per play. The Chiefs are 11th.
Here's the thing with the Bills.
The Chiefs are second by success rate, 11th by EPA. They have absolutely no burst. Okay, they have absolutely no deep. They have no big plays. They have no burst. They have nothing medium to long. Right? They're just check down city. They're running an offense where everybody is slant boy. Okay. That's all their offense is. It's 3.5 yards into a cloud of dust, 3.5 yards into a cloud of dust, and hope to fuck that something opens up for them. But here's the thing, okay? Here's the thing about this fraud ass fucking Chiefs team, okay? Oh, they know how to win close games. Do they? Or do they have a horseshoe up their ass? Okay? You know what team last year we kept talking about as the team that knows how to win close games?
The Philadelphia Eagles.
Yeah, remember what happened when they played a good Niners team finally?
Yeah, we lost spectacularly.
Yeah.
The problem is the Bills are not the 49ers from last year.
The Bills are third in offense and 10th in defense. They are literally top 3 offensively, right? By EPA. And they are a top 12 defensive unit by both EPA and success rate. Josh Allen is objectively a better quarterback this year than Patrick Mahomes.
That's absolutely true. 100%. And I am not disagreeing with any of this. But what I am saying is that Josh Allen and the Bills have a tendency to lose games in these
Bucks
situations.
decided to be dumbasses and not go for a 2-pointer. The Bengals shit the bed. This team should have 4 losses.
They're
should. Frauds.
But this is exactly the type of situation where the Bills lose.
No, it's not actually. It's the Bills win this game convincingly. And then the Chiefs still beat them in January in fucking Ralph Wilson Stadium or whatever the hell it's called now. But it's still the Ralph.
It's still the Ralph. Okay. I just want to run down the list of teams that the Bills have beaten, okay?
It's not impressive. It's not
impressive. It's New York, Tennessee, Seattle, Miami, and Indianapolis. They haven't played anyone.
No, I concede. It is not an impressive list. It's not the world's most impressive list. I will concede that.
I need to see the Bills win against someone, and I need to see the Chiefs
you don't get to play this game when the Chiefs literally just need a blocked kick to beat the Fighting Bo Nixes.
Yeah, last week was not an impressive showing for Denver.
Well, it was an impressive showing for Denver. It wasn't for Kansas City. Anyways, you're a fucking idiot. Chargers minus 1.5 against the Bengals. I'm not really sure why we're treating the Bengals like a good team.
I've been on this kind of horse for a while now. I have not seen anything that shows me that they have the skill that they're being given credit for.
Like the worst unit in this game is definitively the Bengals defense, 30th. 29th by EPA. Chargers offense, which is, the second worst unit, they're like 15th, right? Worst unit is the Bengals defense. It looks like Herbert is finding his rhythm, a sort of fairly easy 27 against the Titans. I don't think Burrow is like definitively a significantly better quarterback. Obviously has, much better weapons than what Herbert's got, but like I don't think the Bengals have a significant quarterback advantage. And for all the shit I give Jim Harbaugh about not wanting to call an offense good enough for Justin Herbert, I think I'm taking Harbaugh over the fraud friend of McVay, who still has a head coaching job for undisclosed reasons, and Zach Taylor.
This is like the showdown between the mid quarterbacks who I expected to be way better than they are.
I think they're both good quarterbacks. I don't think they're both on. I mean, like the Bengals offense can move the ball. It's just their defense has totally failed them.
Yeah, I mean, and the Bengals, I can see the Chargers pulling this one out. I'm gonna completely stay off this game. It's just, I feel icky about it. Sell me on anything on the Bengals side of the ball.
The case for the Bengals is that they're third in like this is actually going to be a fascinating battle when the Bengals have the ball, because it's the third ranked EPA defense versus the third ranked EPA offense, right? It's high level offensive play and high level defensive play sort of together, and whether or not Burrow can win that battle is pretty important, because I have faith in Herbert that he's going to be able to win the battle against the very bad Bengals defense. And so long as Herbert can score, if we think Herbert's scoring 27 again, he just did that against a better Titans defense, then it's whether or not the Chargers defense can hold up, and they've held up very well so far this season.
I was just talking for 5 minutes without knowing my mic was off. So for my
dealing with your child.
For my next pick, I am taking the Minnesota Vikings -6, traveling into Tennessee, but the Titans have just been terrible lately. And the Vikings, despite their rough win in Jacksonville, they still came away with it. I think they should win this game by 10 points.
Yeah, I'm going to tell you on this one. I'm not letting this line would be 7 if the Vikings had scored the number of points commensurate with Sam Darnold's under, like the way the offense actually moved the ball last week, right?
241 and 3 interceptions from Darnold last week. It was a very rough outing for him.
And but the thing is that it was a rough outing, but it was like a high leverage bad outing, right? It's the round of golf where you stuff everything to 14 feet and like 3-putt 3 of those somehow, right? Like it's the kind of round. It's the kind of football game where, again, if to use the golf analogy, it's a guy who shoots a 1-under on Thursday, and I'm just like, give me him in every matchup the next day, because the thing is, they were all high leverage turnovers. They were all like, if he just plays neutral in those high leverage situations, that's probably, an extra 10 points. And then they win by 15. And it's like, yeah, it's a 7-point game. Also, the Titans are dead to me. They scored like 3 points. They backdoored it, I think. They did get a backdoor touchdown, but like they scored 3 points after the offensive scripting ran out. Like, Will Levis just might not be that guy.
I don't think he is.
Would I like Will Levis nearly as much if he didn't leak his own sex tape?
I mean, I still kind of like him because of all of the hilarious pictures we've gotten of him, but
in fairness, I never bought the Will Levis thing out of college, so I feel pretty good about that. You pick again because I'm tailing you on Minnesota, and I don't want to. I don't. No, San Fran minus 5.5. 6.5? 6.5. San Fran minus 6.5. The Seahawks are frauds. I am unconvinced the Niners are that good, but like at some point they have to fucking show it. If they're gonna put a fucking run together, it needs to. They beat Tampa Bay. It wasn't pretty, but they beat Tampa Bay. This has to just be an annihilation. If they want,
I think so.
To believe, look, man, and frankly, they would have beaten Tampa Bay by like 30 if Jake Moody just remembered how to make kicks. And you know what? If they get good kicking variance this week, they win by 15. Hopefully.
This is the kind of game where it's like it's a get right situation for San Francisco. They really need to pull away with it.
Now, the case against it might be they might just suck, right?
That it's possible.
I don't know. Okay. I've already picked 5 games. You've only got 3, so make a pick.
Okay, so my next pick, I am going to be taking. Man, this feels really heavy, but the Detroit Lions minus 13. This Jacksonville Jaguars team is really bad.
Speaking of a quarterback who probably won't be quite as bad in high leverage situations.
I mean, does anyone have a better career arc than Jared Goff?
I mean, like, Pat Mahomes, probably.
I mean, more like the story of it. Really, he came back from being a nobody quarterback.
No. And here's the simple reason why. Okay, you don't get to like play the heartstrings when you're like quote unquote comeback is being bad. Okay, this is my thing with Baker Mayfield's like comeback player of the year case last year. Like, no. What are you coming back from? Being bad. That's not how this works. He was just bad. He wasn't hurt. He didn't have to come. He overcame adversity of being bad. Also, he wasn't even that bad. Sean McVay was just a bitch.
That's basically true. Yeah.
Like the thing about that, like the worst thing that happened to Goff and then that allowed it was them winning a Super Bowl the next year. But like Goff got them to a Super Bowl, right? Now that Super Bowl is probably the worst Super Bowl of my lifetime, right? The 13-3 snooze fest.
Sure.
But like basically, like the Rams got very lucky that they didn't have to play Mahomes in the year that they won. They went to the Super Bowl with Stafford. But like Goff is a system quarterback who, Detroit having Ben Johnson, having another McVay disciple, he got lucky.
Well, it worked out for him, and but yeah, I mean the Jaguars are just terrible. 13 points is heavy.
Too much. 13 points is too much. IMO. Like, I get that Fat Mac Jones sucks, right? And it is him again this week. But like the Jags defense is No, I'm
Are
gonna say the Jags defense is okay. No, it's not. They were just fine last week.
yeah.
Actually, no. They're 19. Okay, so they're 32nd by EPA. They're 19th in success rate, which basically just means they get blown up for big plays. And I mean, if the Lions connect on their big plays, great. But if the Lions run, I just don't know that the Lions offense is well suited to covering 13-point spreads, given how run heavy they like to be.
They do like to be run heavy, but they break away a lot of long runs.
That's fair.
That's like they have covered the spread. They are 8-2 against the spread, 7-2 against the spread. They've been getting it done, and the Jags have not. So
I would just like to point out the Jags are 50th in rush defense EPA and 10th in rush defense success rate. So, yeah. Steelers 3.5. That's my final pick of the game. I don't think Baltimore has proven to me that they should be 3.5-point favorites on the road against the Steelers team that is very good. 3.5 in division. The Steelers defense has historically been very, very good against Lamar. The 3.5 is half a point too heavy.
I think that I'm going to tail you here. The Steelers have looked a lot better lately.
They're like 7-2.
Yeah,
and Russ is actually like helping and doing stuff.
They started the season a bit rough. Like they won against Atlanta, won a terrible game, a slop show against Denver. And that really colored my perspective of them. This is something that I need to get better at. Is that's adjusting in season to the way that teams look. And yeah, they've looked a lot better. They acquired Mike Williams from the Jets, so they actually have a wide receiver, big body, can get it done. I think they'll win. I think they can cover for sure, and I think they can win.
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, like the Ravens, I just think the Ravens are getting a lot of credit. Admittedly, they do have the mini bye. I just think the Ravens are getting a lot of credit for barely beating a Bengals team that I'm, again, not sure how good they actually are.
Well, it's tough with the Ravens because they've gotten it done a lot, right? They beat the Broncos handily. They beat the Buccaneers handily. They beat the Commanders in a tough game. And like you said, they've beaten the Bengals twice now.
Yeah, they were taken to overtime once, and if the refs call a face mask on the 2-point conversion, they lose that game, right? Like, it should not have taken. Like, the Bengals had like 80+ win expectancy in both of those games and blew it.
Yeah, absolutely. They've had a lot of games where it feels like they have gotten away with something. I don't know that happens with the Steelers, with a well-coached, well-run Steelers team that is really showing us that they're a capable team.
Yeah, I think the spread is half a point too high. What's your final pick?
Ooh, my final pick is the upset of the week for me. Atlanta Falcons going into Denver, +2.5.
Could not disagree with this more.
All right. I still believe in Kirk Cousins. I think the Falcons are a better team than they're being given credit for. How do you think Bo Nix compares?
Bo Nix is actually okay, first off. Second of all, the Falcons just lost to the Saints, who are so bad they fired their coach and were on like a 7-game losing streak.
I mean, Dennis Allen has needed to be fired for 3 years.
Yeah, but still, you did lose to a team that had to fire their coach.
Yeah,
that's
a good point.
Impressive. So yeah, Kirk Cousins has been a better quarterback than Bo Nix over the course of the season. Like that is like a factually accurate statement. However, since week 6, the drop off between the two of them is not that big. Cousins goes up to being the 6th best quarterback since week 6 of qualified QBs. I didn't change the play minimum, but Bo Nix goes up to 9th. Man, like they have been, and that is partially because I did not change the play minimum. Jesus Christ, only like 13 quarterbacks qualified. 75. Sorry. But like the minimum, like the stuff here is Bo Nix is not nearly as bad in the final weeks. Like he has really gotten significantly better since the more he has played in recent weeks. And I don't think Nix has the same like ceiling as some of the other quarterbacks. I mean, he is like 26 years old already, right? Because he was in college for a billion years. But man, I trust the Broncos defense more. They just should have beaten the Chiefs. Like as long as what's his face isn't still the the left guard. I think this is pretty simple. The Falcons are frauds. The whole NFC South sucks.
Yes, I think we can agree on that. I'm still not sold on Knicks. I think their defense is still questionable.
Kirk Cousins good?
Kirk Cousins is okay. I mean, he's still dink and dunk Kirk. He's the same guy, but he's throwing the ball deeper than Bo Nix.
I mean, but that's because he has, like, in theory, better weapons.
He's got Darnell Mooney. I'd put him against Cortland Sutton.
Drake London, Kyle Pitts.
Yeah, I mean, when your second best receiving target is Javonte Williams by yards, that's probably not a good sign for your
Broncos defense. 3rd by EPA. I was wrong. Chargers are 2nd by EPA defensively.
Wow.
Would you like to know what the Falcons are?
I'm guessing it's not 1st.
22nd.
Yeah. I'm not changing my pick. I still think that the Falcons can get an upset here. But I will be keeping my eye on the Broncos a bit more. Hopefully one of these fringy type receivers can
right now.
Hopefully one of these fringe receivers can make the jump, because right now it's Cortland Sutton, Devon Valley, Lil Jordan Humphrey, and Josh Reynolds.
Here's a fun game. Do you know the records of any of the teams in the NFC South?
I know the Falcons are 6-4 because it's on my screen, and that's all.
Buccaneers are 4-6, Saints are 3-7, and the Panthers are 3-7. Do you remember when Bill Simmons compared this year's Saints team to the Greatest Show on Turf Rams?
Oh man,
that like
really?
I try not to be too much of a dick to like early season overreactions. I think that is like a Hall of Fame overreaction, though.
Yeah, it absolutely is.
Green Bay -5.5. Kansas City +2. You're an idiot for that one, by the way. Minnesota -6. Detroit -13. Pittsburgh 3.5. Atlanta 2.5. Those are your Scrimshaw 6 picks. Green Bay, Buffalo -2. Chargers -1.5. Vikings, Niners, and Pittsburgh for me. At Arfin Nathaniel on Twitter. Addy Scrimshaw for me. scrimmageunscripted.substack.com. If somebody would like to pay me money to write or podcast about sports, my Twitter DMs are open. God, I really just want to launch into my usual outro, and I don't like that I don't have an outro at this point. Like, it's really messing with my brain still.
Well, the rhythm's off.
I liked that I had a rhythm.
Yeah.
You joining the Blue Sky Brigade?
I'm dipping my toes in the water, but nothing there has been very exciting or compelled me.
You're not excited for the liberal echo chamber?
A liberal echo chamber Twitter clone that feels slightly off. It's strange.
Yeah, it's really dumb. Thanks for coming on, buddy.
Thanks for having me.
Doing double duty this week. Thanks, buddy.
Thanks for having me.